Aspects, dasha and antardasha. Your favorite topic. Let's get started. Repeat after me. Abhipasyanti.
Abhipasyanti.
Rikshani.
Rikshani.
Parshvabhecha.
Parshvabhecha.
This is Sutra of the first chapter of the first pada, Sutra 2. This one follows right after the sutra Upadesha Vyakashama. So the second sutra of the whole work. It must be very important. Right? Let's see. It says every sign aspects its frontal sign, as well as the signs in the extremities of vision, called Parshvarashi. So we're going to make two types of distinction here. The Rashi will see the sign across, and it has some extreme visions. It's Abhi and it's Parshva. This is referred to as Rashi Drishti. For example, the movable signs aspect all fixed signs, except the one which it is right next to. The fixed signs aspect all movable signs, except the one which is closest to it, right next to it. The dual signs aspect each other. Very straightforward. Rashi Drishti is a permanent feature. It has always been there. It's an integral part of your being. It doesn't change that much with time. It really doesn't. Graha Drishti changes with time. You get new desires, you meet new people. They make your desires change, or they have new desires for you. Your desires are the Mahadasha, theirs are the Antardasha. So, Rashi Drishti is more permanent, and we're looking at this at a different angle, different level altogether. They are like buildings in the sky facing each other. It is like me looking through a certain window to see my neighbor over there. The window restricts my vision. Just like that, these Rashi Drishtis, these Rashis have a restricted vision. They can only see certain signs. Okay? The type of Drishti which is being shared between movable and fixed signs has a Shakti. Just like those between dual signs has a Shakti. We know of three Shaktis: Icha, Jnana and Kriya. Where Icha has to do with Graha Drishti. So we have Kriya and Jnana Shakti left. Icha Shakti is Graha Drishti. You know that. Did you know that? Desire is Icha Shakti. So that's all about Graha Drishti. So we have two left: Kriya and Jnana. Movable and fixed signs are having Kriya Shakti with each other. That is, their aspect on each other is Kriya Shakti. They're interested in acting, doing, working. When they talk to each other, they are talking about, let's do some work together. Let's act together. Oh, I have this so much money, let's open a business. Oh, I have this much land, let's open a football field or a factory. They're all about doing.
That's the movable signs.
Movable and fixed. They share this view. Movable signs are constantly trying to move, and fixed signs have a lot of resources because they don't move. So there's a lot of action going on there. Aries and Scorpio are movable and fixed signs. They aspect each other, and they're discussing who should we wage war on next. Taurus and Libra are talking about the new lady next door and which businesses they can open. That's Taurus and Libra. That's what they do. That's Kriya Shakti. I'm serious. That's what they do. Okay? The dual signs are having Jnana Shakti. Their aspect is Jnana Shakti. That's student and teacher talking together. Drishti. Drishti is derived from drish.
To see.
Meaning to see, to notice, examine, care for, or to try. It also means to see with the mind. It can even mean seeing with the third eye. Devas only use Rashi Drishti to see. They cannot use Graha Drishti.
Because they have no desire.
Desire is not defining their drishti. Jnana or kriya is defining their drishti. Okay. And they see through the third eye with Rashi drishti. You can use the Rashi drishti to see God, is what is implied here also. So there's something hidden in Rashi drishti and our ability to see God. In addition to the two types of physical sight and reflection on images. So we have third eye and then two normal types of sight. The word drish includes learning and understanding. To see by divine intuition, I was referring to that. To think and decipher logically or intuitively. To compose by thinking and feeling the rhythm emotionally. To manifest and become visible or appear. To prove and demonstrate conclusively. That's the meaning of the word drish. The word aspect, which is used commonly in Western astrology, is not apt for the word drishti, because their view of aspect does not actually define sight. Aspect is usually an interrelationship between two things, according to Western astrology, but it does not define sight. It does not define desire. It has nothing to do with the three Shaktis we've been mentioning, Icha, Jnana and Kriya. So aspect, though it is a valid principle, is not the same as drishti. Vision is a more appropriate term. Okay? And here he has included a few things that are defined by what it has drishti on. But this is very basic. I don't want to talk so much about that. You remember the word abhipashyanti, it said. Okay? Abhi means that which is just opposed. That's mutually facing, watching, looking on. Pashya is an important word. Why did he use the word abhipashyanti? Why didn't he just say abhidrishti? Right? Drishti would be a suitable word in this context. But he's used word pasya. Maharishi has used this word, meaning to physically see, behold, and also to accurately understand. This applies to the aspect of the science called Rashi Drishti only, which is what we're discussing now. Thus, Rashi Drishti includes all the three aspects of complete, unobstructed physical visibility, crystal clear mental imagery that reflects the vision of the original, and it also implies complete or correct understanding related to the object of aspect. It has to do with knowledge also. Okay? Knowing and knowledge all comes from this drishti. And there's a small point here that some people call this jaimini aspects, but Parashara has written in more detail about Rashi Drishti than Jaimini. Parashara wrote a whole chapter, Jaimini barely spent a line. What to do, I don't know. There's a whole chapter called Rashi Drishti Katana Adhyaya. Parashara, if you want to learn in more detail about how Parashara describes this, you should read that chapter. But don't worry, we will learn a lot of details in this class. Yeah, one more thing. Pashya is a direct reference to the Devata Agni. Agni Deva. Which brings the word Pashya to directly have meaning with respect to vision. Oh, I love this word. Riksha. It should be spelled appropriately with the murdanyasa. The dot should be underneath. And the murdanyara.
Sorry, the rickshaw.
Riksha. Riksha. Riksha.
Not to be mistaken with rickshaw.
Not rickshaw. Rickshaws are too movable compared to these fellows.
Yeah.
Riksha. It can mean a nakshatra. It can also mean a 12th part of the ecliptic, which is a region of 30 degrees. It's usually used to indicate Janma Rashi. The word Riksha can also mean Janma Nakshatra. So if you have Janma Riksha, it's either moon sign or moon's nakshatra, principally. So you can see it's used the word Janma Riksha or Janmarksha. A Riksha mantra is that which is addressed to the Janma Rashi or Nakshatra. A Riksha mantra is very important. You should have a mantra for your moon, right? Moon's Rashi or moon's Nakshatra. Rikshapati is called Shubhapati, a very important aspect of the chart, which we will learn more about later. And is the Lord of Janma Riksha. That is, Shubhapati is Lord of the moon sign. The word Antariksha means that which is contained or inside the Riksha. Or that which is inside the Nakshatra, and this is the solar system. Example, there's some stars. Inside those stars, there's a galaxy of planets. And in the middle of this, there's us on planet Earth looking at the whole thing happen. Okay? So Antariksha refers to everything within the solar system. Within the Nakshatra system, if you may. Thus the Rashi and Nakshatra are outside the solar system. Right? So we have the galaxy or solar system, and then there are the Nakshatras. In Antariksha refers to those which are in between that. Between this earth and the Nakshatras. So Antariksha, everything inside this system.
So, just so I get it right, that means you have us, our 9 planets and stars, and then there's the Milky Way, which is outside it.
Yes, exactly.
Nakshatras are in Milky Way.
They're the stars.
Fixed stars.
Yes.
So tropical astrology can't see the stars, isn't it?
Hmm?
Tropical astrology, Western.
Why can't they?
Because they are not using nakshatras.
But they use
They
fixed
use the
stars.
same fixed stars.
Sometimes, some astrologers.
Yeah, like they say speakers in this degree and,
Hmm.
you know, zeta this is in that degree and so
But
on.
this degree is also tropical, zodiacal degree.
Yes, the difference is that they think the nakshatras are, they think those stars are moving.
Mm-hmm.
Where we think the zodiac is moving when the stars move. You understand the difference? You got that?
Not really. Zodiac
Okay.
is moving.
You see, in the tropical zodiac,
Yeah.
you are basing your zodiac on what is the season,
Yes.
right?
Okay.
Now, if you're having a fixed time of year, which is where the season starts, as a result of which the stars will not be moving at the same speed as that. They will not move with that zodiac. Because they don't base their zodiac on the stars. They base it on the equinox. So as a result of which, if the equinox is moving in a different angle to the stars, as a result of which it looks like the stars are moving. Whereas in the Vedic system, or rather, it's not appropriate to say Vedic, but in the sidereal, in the Narayana chakra, the stars, when they move, means the zodiac is moving. Because we base our zodiac on the stars.
Okay.
That's the only
understood.
difference.
That's just
You got that?
Yes.
Yes.
That's what you just explained, what's underneath.
Exactly, yes. It is caused to exist or manifest due to the real sidereal zodiac of the Rashi and Nakshatra outside and maps into the same through the
What is the
Ayanash.
meaning of misnomer?
Misnomer.
Wrong
Misnomer means it is misunderstood as being a zodiac, where in fact it's not a zodiac but a point in space.
Misnomer.
Yes, we cannot say that the equinox at a certain point means that Aries is there. That's what he means by this. But it doesn't mean it's not a relevant point, it's just not a zodiac. That's what he means. Okay? Ah, yes. A bit of astronomy. Yeah, and a bit more about this from a traditional perspective. Because the grahas are in between the riksha and the earth, their movement in between causes the light from the rikshas to be blocked.
sometimes.
Like an eclipse. And the word graha, which we add a lot to the planets, comes from the word grahana, which means to eclipse. So they're called grahas because of that position between the earth and the stars. Very simple. Alright? Now, a little bit more about this tropical zodiac thing. Okay? We have something called Vishnu Nabi. Vishnu Nabi, have you heard of this? Okay. We have points in space called Vishnu Nabi, and we say that this is the navel of Vishnu. It's where everything rotates around. Everything centers around that. And it moves with the fixed stars. So as a result of which, anything which is not centered around the Vishnu Nabi is really not useful for human beings. But it's good for weather. Tropical zodiac you should study very carefully for weather. It's so accurate. Like, when is it going to rain? You know? How is the water going to be in this country? How about the winds is a situation, tornadoes? It's so accurate. Okay? But this is as far as relevant as a zodiac is concerned. Then you have to use it for that. We have a whole system of tithis based on tropical zodiac and everything. Let's see. Remember we had Pashya and then Abi in front. So Abi Pashyanti. The word Abi used as prefix to the verb Pashya expresses the awareness, desire and motion of going towards or approaching for a purpose and in a direction, both physical direction as well as figurative goal. Okay. What does that mean? Heading in a direction. Heading towards something is what the word Abi means. It refers to that light or knowledge you're getting from that drishti is leading to a goal. And also for that reason, there's a specific drishti associated with this Abi, which is going to tell us what is your goal for life, just by knowing that drishti. Okay? And we call that the Abhimukha drishti. And I'll divide them in a minute so you can see all of them. In a minute, right? Yes, soon at least. And now we get to this word, Abhi. We do Katapayadi. A is 0, right? Bha is 4. So 0, 4. Reverse them, we get? Or did we have to reverse them? Yes, let's see. Therefore, Abhi is 0, 4 and reverse becomes 40. If we remove multiples of 12, we get 4 again, right? Are you sure?
Yeah. 36.
36 remove from 40 is 4. Goody. Ah, sharp fellows. This 4 is a direct reference to the 4 heads of Brahma. So he's hidden the 4 heads of Brahma in that sutra. We didn't know, he just said Abhi Pashyanti and we thought, oh, that's it, fine. Abhi means just facing, mutually facing, all right, good. And he's hidden some magic in here, good stuff. So he's referring to Brahma, Prajapati. And there's a reason for this. These signs he's referring to are all in the 4th sign from each other. Movable signs are in 4th from each other. Fixed signs are in 4th from each other. Dual signs are in 4th from each other. So he's defined the entire drishti based on that just one word, Abhi. And Pashyanti is settled. Not too much talk. No, just small sutras settle the whole Hora Shastra. This is what Jaimini does. He does a bit more. I will now take this sutra and interpolate it a little bit more. We refer to the 4th house and we refer to Brahma and his 4 heads. The Chaturmukha, 4 faces, means 4 mouths through which Brahma spoke the 4 Veda, and each of these 4 mouths belongs to a face, also called Mukha. The eastward face is that of a bull, Rig Veda, or a cow. Kamadeno is the cow, and the bull is Nandi, which Shiva rides. That's why both the bull and the cow are relevant for understanding the Rig Veda. And that is the eastern face of Brahma. It's the eastern one. So the Rig Veda is rising in the east based on this. And it rises with that particular head called Gomukha. Knowing this, we suddenly go one step further. We understand that Jaimini is crazy about Gayatri Chanda. He started with Gayatri Chanda, Upadesha, Vyakyasyama. He loves it. He loves it. He defines everything based on this. Even we gave you a whole Navakari initiation based on Gayatri Chanda. So, if we are to fully understand this one face of Brahma, we have to have a mantra for it also. So hidden in this is an implication that we must learn the mantra for learning the Rig Veda. Because as proper Brahmins, we have to know how we can put our head in that direction to learn the Rig Veda. So how do we do that? We need a face first. And we need something like Gomukha or Nandi Mukha. Then we need the Vedic mantras. There are 4 syllables which each signify an aspect of the Veda. In that, Ra, the sound Ra is in East. Write that down. Ra is in East. Stu. There is a stu sound. That stu sound is in North. C sound is in West. Is in West. And D is in South. Ra is Rig Veda. Stu is a Atharva Veda. C is Sama Veda. And D is Yajur Veda. And for us to get this Siddhi, we must say Siddhi Rastu.
Can you repeat the last two, please?
Siddhi, C is in West and D is in
So,
South. And C is Samaveda and D is Yajurveda. It forms one word, Siddhi Rastu. Siddhi Rastu. Siddhi Rastu. 4 sounds, Siddhi Rastu. To this we must add another 4 to get Gayatri. And those 4 sounds we will add will depend on which Veda you want to learn. If you want to learn Rig Veda, Nandi Mukha Siddhi Rastu. Nandi Mukha Siddhi Rastu. You want to learn Yajur Veda, you will add Haya Mukha Siddhi Rastu. Haya Mukha Siddhi Rastu. You want to learn Atharva Veda and learn the entire Jyotish Shastra, which is sitting in Atharva Veda. Hanu Mukha Siddhi Rastu. Hanu Mukha, Hanuman, right? Hanu Mukha Siddhi Rastu.
For Samaveda.
No, Atharva. For Samaveda, which is Jaimini's Veda, you must do Ajamukha Siddhi Rastu. Aja is the goat's head. Ajamukha is Brahma when he's learning, or rather speaking, the Samaveda. Ajamukha Siddhi Rastu is the
this is
Samaveda.
for Samaveda or for...
Yeah, Aja is for
Samaveda.
Sama.
Yes.
Both the first one we didn't get that.
Which one? Nandi?
Rig Veda.
Nandi is Rig Veda. Nandi Mukha.
Hayamukha is
Ayamukha is Yajur Veda. You should have them all now, right?
Yes.
You should choose which Veda you prefer. Which Veda is blessing you.
which one?
You check your Ketu in D60.
Okay.
If Ketu is in an Agni sign, it means that the Atharva Veda blesses you. Agni is Atharva.
Oh.
Jala signs, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, that is Rig Veda. So if Ketu is in a Jala sign in D60, Rig Veda blesses you. The knowledge and your entire brain activity is functioning because of Rig Veda. If Ketu is in a watery sign in D60,
Which, again,
watery signs.
and which Veda was this?
Rig Veda.
Rig.
And the fire blesses you, no?
Agni is Atharva.
Agni, Atharva Veda. All the Jyotish and all the Mahatantra. You know, that's why you read, oh, you mix this herb and do this mantra and the lady will fall in love with you for life. Stuff like that.
Sorry, I never did that.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay? But there's a masterful amount of Jyotish in there. So, it's amazing. Anyway,
Others?
yeah, of course, you want to know others. And to be sure. Which one do you think is for Yajurveda?
Move
Prithvi? No, Airy. Good try. Airy signs. Prithvi is Samaveda. Or is it? I have to think for a second. Hold on. Ajamukha is Prithvi. Yes, it is. That's all right. It's all right. Based on this, you're also supposed to find your Shanti prayer.
I didn't get that.
Hmm?
Prithvi,
Prithvi Sama.
Sama.
Ketu and Prithvi.
Ketu and Prithvi Sama is Samaveda. Correct. Each Veda has a Shanti prayer. So depending on which Veda your Ketu belongs to, you should choose a Shanti prayer. When you do that, that Veda will bless you in every day of your life. It gives you peace. For example, for Rig Veda, you will learn Vang me manasi pratishtita, mano me vachi pratishtitam. It starts that way. You should learn the rest if you have Rig Veda. For Atharva Veda, it starts with
Bhadram Karne.
Om Bhadram Karnebi Shrunayama Deva. That's right. Yajurveda, there's one version of Yajurveda which gives Om Purnamida, Om Purnamidam, Purnata, Purnama. Well, I forget the rest. Anyway, this voice won't help me today. That's one Yajurveda. It's Shukla Yajurveda. There's also Krishna. You decide. If you have Yajurveda, you just decide on which one you like best. And we'll decide how your chart is fitting that. Okay? So you have to find out which Shanti you will do daily based on this. And if you do that, then forever, that Veda blesses you with peace. And you must do Shanti. Please don't go through life and don't do Shanti. Please do Shanti every day. In the tradition we're taught, don't even get up from puja until you've finished your Shanti. Don't even get up.
You mean Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti?
Yeah, but we have a whole stotra associated with it.
I did it Om Purnamada
Yeah, Yajurveda, good, do it.
at the start and at the end.
Good, you're supposed to. Do Shanti every day, and you're sure that your life is peaceful. Parashara even says, if you're going through a bad dasha like Mars dasha, Anta dasha, do Shanti, that's the remedy. So imagine if you're doing it every day. It's just one small few lines.
2 minutes.
Imagine you do it every day. Every
We
day.
have also in our tradition, Muslim tradition, to take a shukran every day.
Yes, do it.
Something like Shanti.
Do it. Do what you feels best. Do it.
Shanti for everything.
Yes.
For bad things, for example.
Exactly. Exactly. It's the same thing. Alright? You should choose one. Do it every day. You can choose based on Ketu and Shasti. If you're not general, or you one you're comfortable with, stick to it.
You mean these words, Ajumak, for example. Ajamuka, Turko.
No, remember I was saying Atharva Veda Shanti. Atharva Veda Shanti is Om Bhadram Karnebi Shrunayama Deva Bhadram Pashyema Chabirya Jata Stire Range Stusduvagam Sustanobi Vyashema Devahitam Yadayu Swasti na Indra Vridashrava Swasti na Pusha Vishwaveda Swasti na Stakshu Arishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspatir Dadatu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Can you send us these sentences to our mails?
Do you have Upanishads at home?
Upanishads?
Upanishads, do you have them?
Which one?
Any?
Yes.
Their Shanti is in the beginning
Ah.
of each Upanishad. It's in the beginning and end. Always. Always. If you insist, I'll do a bit of work and I'll send you some Shantis for each of them.
At least you won't have to talk.
Yeah, it's very fun. I'm sorry for disturbing you with my voice.
No, that's okay.
Okay? These directions I've given you are also very important. It says here north is the Yajurveda. Okay, I've given you a slightly different scheme. Don't worry about it. We'll use that for something else. Okay. So you'll see that south and north are reversed here. Do you know why I reversed them? I should tell you then. It has to do with sunrise and sunset and midday and midnight. The Atharva Veda represents midnight. So you would put it in north normally, right? Okay. It depends on your perspective. Are you looking from your lagna or are you looking from the sun? It's not important right now. This is from the sun's perspective, though. You can also read a bit of this later about the symbolism of the goat's head and Dakshinamurti and everything. Okay? Back to Drishti. So, here are the four heads of Brahma. One is facing south, east, north, west. Okay? They're in the chart. So now you're sure. Now let's assume we're analyzing Scorpio. Alright? I'll show you something. See Scorpio. Jaimini said, Abhipashyanti. The one which is facing in front. The one who faces Scorpio in front is Aries. See that? Right in front. Then he said, Abhi means fall. Count from Aries fall. Look at Cancer. This means Cancer will aspect Scorpio. Count from Aries fourth back. Capricorn. This means Capricorn aspect Scorpio.
Nice.
Simple.
Very nice.
Okay. It's of course easy with dual signs. They just aspect each other. So anyway, you find that Abhi, the Sammukha or Abhip Mukha. Anyway, it'll be every fourth after that. Easy. No problem.
This is amazing. We thought we knew it.
One picture.
What?
We
Yeah,
thought
all
we
you
knew
have
it,
to do
and
is
now
choose
that's
chakra,
that's amazingly simple.
star and
Abhi, that's just the word Abhi and Apashyanti. We haven't got to the Parshva Drishti yet. Imagine that. But I'll describe it to you. This was Abhi, right? For Scorpio, Abhi is Aries. Abhi Mukha. These here on fourth on either side are called Parshva Drishtis. So there will always be one Abhi and two Parshva. Parshva are extremes. They're like on either end. So what does he mean by either end? One on one side and one on the other side. Other extremes of angle. They're not exactly in front. They're on the sides. He's made a nice depiction here when we talked about the face of Brahma. He says that these diagonal directions, they are they're the inner face, they're invisible. Okay? It's sort of like the face, but on one side of the face of Brahma. So. This is what Parashara says on Drishti. You want me to say it? Okay. Actually, in fact, why don't you say it for us? Just, just say it. Don't translate. Just say it. Read the sloka.
As it is.
Yeah, it just says it.
Stisht yam vina graha miti rashi va drashi ga deta pasha yati yata atra yam chatran yasa viditsha dwa rasa ya purva disi mesa puna vadisi mesa
Vishinesha.
tata simho dakshina nasham pashimam tula Vishito Uttara Siyam Matara Tumba Viti Tika Dwa Dharana Chattara Rasturn Yasa iti prachina va stuta astu baya rasi drishtasht chatura Straidhati Ananeti Vritkara Eva Vinyasa Samuchito Vedivya.
Can you see what he's trying to describe here? He's placing the signs in the various directions. He says, Tula Vrishika is in Uttara. Uttara means north. Okay. Then he places, I had it here, Karka Simho Dakshinam, that is south. It can also mean first part and second part. It need not be south and north. And like this, he's just placing the signs. This is not Parashara, I realize. Parashara would rhyme. Okay? So Parashara doesn't write like this. This is somebody else who's trying to describe the drishti. I have, this is a commentary, now I remember. I forgot. It's a commentary that somebody did on that same Sutra of Jaimini. Problem is only that when he's describing it, and he's putting everything in these various directions to make the commentary on this, he makes a slight error. Cancer and Leo should be north, and Capricorn Aquarius should be south. And if we read it literally, he put Scorpio and Libra in north. It doesn't make sense. So maybe he means something else by it. Normally we take the Parashara or Shastra to describe this chakra, and we actually can draw that chart which we saw earlier based on what Parashara tells us. And a whole square, and we use the South Indian chart. The commentator has clearly spelled out the Sammukha Rashi as the 8th, 6th and 7th houses from movable, fixed and dual signs. 876. Movable, 8. Dual, 7th. Fixed, 6th. Okay? Sammukha is not the same as Abhimukha. I must warn you, and I'll explain. Abhimukha means going or turn towards, and refers to a direction that is considered as the most natural course, as this is the direction the sign tends to go towards. Your personal Abhimukha is the direction you tend to go towards. Sammukha means frontal, be facing. Just because I am looking at Sandeep doesn't mean I'm going towards Sandeep. But Sammukha means that which you are facing. The dilemma is this for the dual signs. Who is opposite the dual sign? Because that is the one who will be facing, right? For Gemini, who is the opposite one? Sagittarius. So you think he will head towards Sagittarius? What is the dilemma of him heading towards Sagittarius? Badak. That is the dilemma. Badaka is a very integral concept with this concept of drishti. The entire concept of drishti requires us to understand Badaka also. Because these aspects are all knowledge. And Badaka is there where you have least knowledge. 0 is occurring in the Badaka. 0. So even though Gemini faces Sagittarius, he is not heading towards Sagittarius. He has no desire for Sagittarius. In fact, the problem is he doesn't see that goal at all. That's why he cannot head that way. So dual signs are the only one with a problem. Because of them, we cannot say that everybody's Abhimukha is Sammukha. So even though for Aries and Scorpio, they are Sammukha to each other and also Abhimukha, for Gemini and Sagittarius, they are Sammukha to each other, but they are not Abhimukha to each other. Dual signs are the only exception. Sammukha can refer to, like in we say samvada. You can be discussing, debating, talking. So Samukha can still refer to a guru and sishya talking together. But because of the badaka, it means that the sishya or guru is not heading in that direction. And we are interested in the abhimukha, into which we enter the topic of badaka. Badaka means obstruction from unseen or unimagined causes, sources. It indicates something about which a clear picture is not present. We were talking about pasya. Pasya refers to you have a clear understanding. You know something. It's crystal clear to you. Badaka is not understanding. You don't know. So what is badaka? Ignorance. Badaka is just ignorance. Just and just. It can be big ignorance, small ignorance, and heavy, wrong ignorance. It's very apt to describe badaka in this way. You know you all have a mouth, right? Can you see it? Not without a mirror. See my mouth? My nose is in the way. Just protrude my lips a bit. Maybe I'll see my lips, but you can't see your mouth. Badaka is like that. Badaka is right underneath your nose. It's there. You know it's there, but you can't see it. That's badaka. It's an integral part of who you are. Sometimes it's a big problem. And badaka, more than often, is caused by you doing something that you don't know you're doing wrong. And as a result, seeing some issue. Other people can tell you, a doctor can tell you, a friend can tell you, but you can't see it.
Is it just emotion?
It's not emotion, it's a direct action.
Action.
Yes. It's always actions.
Acting. Something acting.
Something you do.
I am doing but not knowing why I'm doing it.
Exactly. Or you're doing something and you don't know what its effect is on you. Okay?
But this is bad.
Yes, you don't know something is bad for you.
Because sometimes we are doing and result will be good.
Yes, but that could also become good. That depends on which planets are there. Alright? Does it have to be... Yeah. The Badaka is always one among those signs which are having Rashi Drishti. Always. So those signs involved in Rashi Drishti are all related to different aspects of knowledge. It's aspects showing that the obstruction is coming from something desired, partly known, or towards which one is proceeding. It just means that it's coming from something you're doing and you don't know you're doing it. Because you can't see what you're doing. Okay? For movable signs, the 11th house is Badaka. For fixed, it's the 9th, as you know. And for dual signs, it's the 7th house. Do you know how to derive Badaka? You can start with this principle. Put your hand, one hand in Aries. Okay, that's the first sign. Put your other hand in Aquarius. Move one step forward with Aries to Taurus. One step backwards from Aquarius to Capricorn. Taurus and Capricorn. So Taurus's Badak is Capricorn. As a result. Right? Okay. Move one hand step forward to Gemini. And the other back to Sagittarius. Gemini, Sagittarius, Badak. And then start over with Cancer. That's how you derive Badaka. Why do you need to know that? Because when you have to justify why these houses are Badaka, now you know why. Worship of Ganesha removes Badaka.
Sorry, there is some last sentence. Can
Yeah.
you come back, please? This last sentence. Badak signs brings troubles from the people associated with the house owned by the planet.
Yes.
They are using the Charakarakas or the just natural...
Both.
For example, Mars enemies can be...
Not exactly. Mars and Badak can mean brothers at the cause of Badak, but if Mars is loading, let's say, second house, it can just be somebody who's not a direct brother. It could be cousin, family member, distant family member. Okay? And let's say that Mars is Atma Karaka. Then you yourself brought yourself into that Badak with that person. So the Charakaraka is telling us through why did you go there? Which activity of a person did you get involved in that activity with? And then for example, let's assume like a person whose father is no more. Assume, but Pitrukaraka is in Badak, so that means maybe you wanted to do something with regards to your inheritance or from father. So let's say Pitrukaraka is in Badak, and that Pitrukaraka in Badak happens to be, let's say, Rahu. That means in the process of trying to solve something with regards to father, maybe inheritance, you are having a problem from Rahu because of a foreigner, or because of, it could even be Sarpa Badaka, doing something bad towards nature, something like that. So the Lordships will tell us a bit more like why that activity is coming up. But it has also something to do with the activity. So yes, we look at many things. Primarily, if we're looking to see what is the real problem, Lordship. Okay? Like 6th Lord in Badakhstan, heavy enmity. Somebody is very, very angry with you. For sure.
About it.
10th Lord, some problem is going on at work. Okay.
Black magic, no? Black magic.
Black magic is associated with 6th Lord in Badakh.
Sixth Lord.
Yes. Yes.
Avicca.
Yes. It's where you cannot see. It's where you lack knowledge. Now I'm going to remove that lack of knowledge. Find some of the stuff here. Yes. Break. Okay. Break time.